Arjunaya Pratiboditam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitaamrutavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashaadhyayinim Ambatvāmanusandadhāmi Bhagavadgite Bhavadveshinim Vasudevasutam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. By the infinite grace of Sri Ramakrishna and the Lord Krishna, we are studying the Gita under the light of the Shankaracharya's commentary. We have so far completed the 7th shloka of the 3rd chapter of the Gita. The 6th shloka and the 7th shlokas are interconnected. In the 6th shloka, the Lord says, Karmendriyani sanyamya ya aste manasasmaran indriyarthan vimudhatma mithyacharasya uchyate. Vimudhatma, one who is completely deluded. A deluded person is he when he is not able to understand the true import of the subject. That person is called the deluded person. That deluded person, why he is deluded person? Because he is trying to control only the karmendriyas, walking, talking, etc. But in the mind, he could not control what is called the jnanendriyas. So what he has heard, what he has seen, what he has touched, all these things of the world, the objects of the world, he continues to think about that, and such a person is called mithyachara by the wise men. Mithyachara means the hypocrite, one who is pretentious only. He could not control his mind, and outwardly he seems to be withdrawing from the objects, but in reality he is not very much attached. Swami Vivekananda says in his Karma Yoga, it is better to be detached even while one who is a king than thinking about and full of desires even though he is a beggar. A beggar may be full of desires, you cannot call him a detached person. A king may be enjoying the pleasures of the world, but he may be completely detached. The king is to be called a sannyasi, because though he is in the midst of the luxuries, he is detached. So it is the mind that matters in Karma Yoga. It is not just the external pretension or the external exhibition, external show that matters in Karma Yoga. In contrast to that, Yastvindriyani manasa niyamya arabhate arjuna karmendriyaihi karma yogam asakta visavishishyate. Yaha, one who indriyani manasa niyamya. Here indriyani means jnanendriya. Whatever we see, whatever we hear, through which we see, these are all indriyas. We get the comprehension of what we hear, what we see through the mind only. Though the indriyas bring the stimulus from the external world, the hearing indriya is the ear, but we understand what we hear, we comprehend what we hear in the mind. The indriya or the sense of the seeing is the eye, but what we see, we really comprehend or understand in the mind. The knowledge of what we see, the knowledge of what we hear happens in the mind only. And that's why, though the indriyas are called jnanendriyas, real jnana of our comprehension happens in the mind. So, controlling the indriyas means the controlling the mind. Without controlling the mind, you cannot control the indriyas. Even the control of the indriyas it happens only through the mind and in the mind. So it is highly psychological. So one who niyamya means controlling. Arabhate means karma arabhate. One who performs the action outwardly with the karmendriyas, controlling his jnanendriya in the mind. So niyamya arabhate, karmendriyaihi arabhate. So you can do the work only through the karmendriyas, walking, talking, etc., etc. So such person what he performs, karma yogam arabhate. So the literal meaning of arabhate is commences. But in here we should understand arabhate in the sense of one who does, or one who performs. What he performs through karmendriyas, he performs karmendriya, karma yoga through the karmendriya. Here yoga is told here, not just the karma. We are habituated to do karma or the action through karmendriya, but our mind is filled with desires. Our mind is filled with the raga and dvesha. Krishna says later, raga dvesha vyavastito. We cannot get rid of the hatred or attachment. Either we are filled with or you are endowed with the passion of hatred or with the attachment. This attachment and avar fill our mind while doing any work. That is the normal way of doing. That is why we get into trouble and we get into conflict in the mind, we get depressed and sorrow follows us everywhere in whatever we do. So in order to get rid of it, in order to do the work as an independent worker, not enslaved by raga and dvesha, one should perform the work in the spirit of karma yoga. We will learn more about karma yoga later. But the main ingredient, main characteristic of karma yoga is asaktaha, detachment. So what is detachment? Perhaps we are doing a work. I am a clerk in the office. If I do only for the selfish gains or for the monetary benefit, I am a slave of the money. I am a slave of the prestige or worldly benefit. If I can do all the work with the spirit of selflessness, and if I surrender all my actions, the fruits of actions to God and God alone, that will become karma yoga. That asakta, the detachment is the essence of karma yoga. We should not stop working, but we should work, every work should be done in the spirit of detachment. And how to develop detachment and how to perform every action with detachment, Krishna explains in this chapter. So this much we have studied in the last class. Now Krishna continues, don't stop the work. Niyatam kuru karmatvam karma jyayohi akarmanaha sharira yatra pichate na prasidhyed akarmanaha. Why one should work? Why activity is very much important in our lives? You cannot sit idle and spend the time in vain. That is impossible. Every work, every activity is a part and parcel of our life. You cannot sit idly. Even breathing is an action, Swami Vivekananda says. So there are two meanings of karma in our tradition. In fact, the karma kanda of the Vedas say karma means yajna and yaga. We worship the devatas through the agni or the fire, and devatas will return give us benefits like rain, wealth, etc. This is the Vaidika karma. And Laukika karma is possessing wealth and working for the wealth, working for the worldly prosperity. These are all the Laukika karma. But Swami Vivekananda goes beyond it and says everything, every action, everything that involves movement is an action. Breathing is an action, walking is an action. So every action should be performed into and can be transformed into a karma yoga. So Krishna says here, Niyatam kuru karma. Niyatam means what has been prescribed. Everybody does what is called instinct actions. So I go, I speak, I breathe, these are all instincts. So we need not get direction from the Shastras for that. But what is Niyata is prescribed actions, prescribed by the Shastras. Suppose Himsa is something prohibited, we should not do. Violence is something prohibited, it is called a Pratisiddha karma. Then what is prescribed? Ahimsa is prescribed. Non-violence is prescribed. Satya is what is prescribed. Truthfulness is what is prescribed. Asatya is not prescribed. So we have to know the dharma first. What is dharma? Once again, dharma is something prescribed by the Vedas. When Veda says ahimsa should be done, one should go for it. If Shastra or the Veda says we should avoid himsa, one should avoid that. This is what is called dharma. This is what the niyatam kurma. So this karma yoga doesn't apply to ordinary actions, ordinary tasks at hand. But even those ordinary actions or the tasks, if we can do with the selfless attitude, detached attitude, that will become karma yoga. So Krishna says here what is prescribed action, niyatam kuru karma, tvam. Why? Once again the reason for that is given in the next part of the verse. Karma jyayo hi akarmanaha. Is it better to work than sitting idle? Akarma means not doing anything. Because it is very, very difficult to sit idle without doing any work. So it is always better to engage in something or another than sitting idle and not doing any work. So this is the meaning of the very first line or the two padas of this shloka. Every shloka in Gita except some have got four padas. Niyatam kuru karmatvam is the first pada. Karma jyayo hi akarmanaha is the second pada. Sharira yatra pichate is the third pada. Na prasiddhyed hi akarmanaha is the fourth pada. The first pada's meaning we have already derived. Niyatam kuru karmatvam. Why? Because the second pada says karma jyayo hi akarmanaha. Indeed. He means indeed. Truly. Akarmanaha. Compared to akarma or not doing work, karma is better. Karma is more beneficial. Because sharira, once again the hetu will come, reason will come. Why karma is better than not doing any karma or any action? Why action is more beneficial and more important in our life than not doing inaction? Because sharira yatra pichana prasiddhed akarmanaha. Through the akarma, through inaction, even the maintenance of the body is not possible. This is a very striking remark. We think, I am not doing anything, I don't want to do anything, but we still go to dining hall and eat, and that we cannot avoid. That is also a karma. So, if you don't do any work, it is even impossible, almost impossible, na prasiddhed, would not be possible for us to maintain our body. Even for maintaining our body, karma is more essential. Without any activity, we cannot even keep up our body alive. So, karma is always better than akarma. So, one should always engage in work and good work. And this is the fundamental teaching of Krishna. And the next stage, Krishna says one should perform dharma. What is prescribed by me, by the Shastras. So Arjuna belongs to Kshatriya class. He is a warrior. So his duty is to fight the war. His duty is not to go to the forest and meditate. And that is the dharma for some other people, not Krishna, not Arjuna. So this Swadharma is well defined, well classified, and well determined, not by us, by the Vedas themselves. So one should simply follow that. That is the teaching here. So the next shloka is very important. So the first stage is first stage or the first phase of Krishna teaching is you should do work, and karma is always better than akarma. The next stage he says, perform karma in the spirit of yajna or for the sake of yajna. That is the essence, that is the crux, that is the substance of the next shloka, the ninth shloka, ninth verse. Yajnarthat karmanaha anyatra lokoyam karma bandhanaha tadartam karma kaunteya mukta sangha samachara. This is a very, very important shloka as far as the karma yoga chapter is concerned. Here Krishna clearly instructs how to perform the prescribed actions. If you do prescribed actions or regulated actions, regulated by the Shastras or the scriptures, you will come into bondage. You will be bound to the samsara. You have to endure grief and the sorrow because you will still be in bandhana. So, always do karma for God. Here, what is Yajna? Yajna is a very, very important in the Indian tradition. The word Yajna has different shades of meaning. We will try to understand one or two of them. First of all, and three dimensions of the word of Yajna we shall examine now. The first rudimentary meaning of Yajna. The ordinary meaning of the Yajna is a sacrifice. It is a physical sacrifice in which one will throw the ghee and other things into the fire, and we think that all the gifts thrown into the fire will reach the particular deity, and that deity, Devata, will be pleased by that. Suppose if we utter the mantra Indraya Swaha and we put a gift to Indra, maybe some cereal or the fruits or tender coconut or even cloth, our belief is Agni will be a carrier. Agni carries that gift to Indra. Indra will be very much pleased with that, and Indra will shower the rivers. Indra will shower the rains through the clouds. This is an old belief. This is an old Vedic belief. And this is the first meaning of the Yajna. And same Yajna idea, you can carry it, or you can spread out, you can extend to other schemes or the other arenas of the life also. Suppose if I am doing a work, instead of doing the work for my own sake in a selfish manner, if I can do that same work for the benefit of the whole world, benefit of the society, benefit of the family, benefit of others, and that will be termed as Yajna. So it is possible to transform every kind of action into Yajna. So in the Gita, in the 6th chapter, Dravya Yajna, Tapo Yajna, etc. are prescribed. What is Dravya Yajna? Through the money you can do Yajna. If you spend money for your own benefit, it is not Yajna. If you spend the same money for others, and whatever remaining, if you use for your own well-being or maintenance of your family, then it is called the Yajna. In the same time, Dravya Yajna, Tapo Yajna, tapas also can become a Yajna. Every action can be Yajna. We will see later how this Yajna concept, Krishna expands, evolves into a beautiful philosophy of life. So here Krishna says, Yajnarthan karmanaha. So Yajnartha means for the sake of God here. This is the third meaning. First meaning is the ordinary sacrifice, and the second meaning is for the society, whatever you do without selfish motive, for the sake of society, for the sake of others, whatever remaining you enjoy, that is also a yajna. That idea also comes later. But here the main emphasis, a commentator Shankaracharya says yajna means Vishnu, and he often quotes, whenever yajna word comes, he is very fond of quoting from the scripture, Yajno vai Vishnuhu. Yajna means God himself. Why God is called Yajna here? Because he is the Yajnapati. He is the ruler of the Yajna. It is God who makes happen all works in our life. Without God's direction, without God's sanction, without God being there above us, we cannot do any action. Every action depends upon the will of God. And it is He who is making us to do the work. He is the instigator. And we don't have any capacity to do any work for that matter. We are helpless. God is the helper in doing every work. This is the first idea. Second idea is, in Karma Yoga, Yajnartham karma means we have to do work for the sake of God. If we do work for my own sake, for my own benefit, for my own enjoyment, and that is not yajna, that is not karma yoga. If you want to satisfy your body, if you want to please your body for only material gains, if you do any work, it cannot be called yajna or karma yoga. To be yajna, it has to be done as a gift to the God, dedicated to God. So what is dedicated to God is the yajna. This is the second meaning of the yajna. And for whose sake we have to do yajna? For whose sake we have to do yajna? For the sake of God and God alone. God is the purpose, God is the goal. It is God who is doing, I am not doing. Sri Ramakrishna was very fond of a saying, Anaham karta, Hari karta. Even the Acharya Madhva used to say, Madhvacharya, Sri Ramakrishna used to say, Ami jantra, tumi jantri. You are the mission maker. Who you are the operator of the mission. I am just the mission. And you are doing things and I am just an instrument, that's all. So this is the spirit of yajna. So yajna in totality, according to the commentary written by Sri Shankaracharya, it is for the sake of God. Yajno by Vishnu. You cannot differentiate yajna and Vishnu, because we are trying to propitiate Vishnu or the Lord only through every work. We should try, then only it will become yajna or karma yoga. And we should always feel it is not I who am doing the work, it is Lord himself is doing work through me. I am only an instrument, and it is the Lord works, Lord is doing. The purpose of doing this work is also the Paramatma alone, the Lord alone. So this should be the spirit through which one should do the work, and that karma yoga, that kind of detached work is called yajna here. So yajnartha, for the sake of God alone, one should do work. Any action other than that, karmanaha anyatra, yajnarthat karmanaha anyatra. So the action which is done for the God is yajna, that karma. Apart from that, if you do any karma without that motive, yajnarthat karmanaha anyatra, and that person will become loka bandhana. If I do work without considering God at all, without remembering God, without recognizing him to be the real doer of the work, without recognizing or without discovering it is God's work I am doing, and without recognizing the fact the purpose of all work should be God, if you do work only for the sake of material gains with selfish motive, and he will become karma bandhana. That means he will be entangled by the karma. So if you do karma with the spirit of detachment and dedicated to God, yajnartha, then that kind of karma will release you from the bondage of samsara. We should have very clear idea of what is samsara. Samsara means transmigration of birth and death. From birth and death, punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jatare shayanam. So we have already crossed many births. We have already suffered in thousands of births, but we have not learnt anything from that. We are still suffering in this birth. Still we want to have many more births and enjoy this material life. And that is Maya, that is avidya. As long as we are in bondage, as long as we are in ignorance, this situation will continue, and we will be getting more and more births and more bodies. That is the state of bandhana, entanglement, bondage, and karma bandhana, and our ordinary karma, and which are done in a selfish manner, will lead to samsara. One who is entangled with the karma bandhana, the bondage of karma. Here karma means ordinary karma, done with the desire, kamya karma it is called. Full of desires we have, and we do the karma, and we get entangled, and we want to have more and more birth, more and more enjoyment, and that person will become one who is entangled in the karma, and such person is called karma bandhana. This situation, very unfortunate situation, the bad situation happens only when we are unable to do karma for the sake of God. If we can do karma for the sake of God, beautifully termed, beautifully put by Shankaracharya in this manner, Yajna Ishwar Aradhanartam karma. Karma should be done as the worship of the Lord. If we do karma as the worship of the Lord, then there will be no problem at all. Even if there is some loopholes and defects in the karma, because our attitude, our dedication is of great nature, noble nature, so the defects will not taint us. Defects will not take us to bad state, and defects will be corrected by the God Himself, because God knows the inner heart. God understands the inner attitude, our dedication. Outward work is not important. What we feel inside our mind while doing the work, that is very, very important. So if we can sweep our house with the spirit of detachment and offering to God, it is God's work, and that even the sweeping becomes a karma yoga. If we can come to ashrama and do some voluntary work, and if we are full of egoism and petty-mindedness, selfishness, and even doing a kind of service in ashrama will not become karma yoga. So it doesn't mean that whatever we do in house, that is karma, and whatever we do in temples and ashrama is karma yoga. So it is the inner attitude, inner feeling, inner dedication, inner bhakti or the devotion to the Lord that makes all the difference. So even in the most sanctified place like ashrama or the temple, we do work with the hatred or the raga or the attachment, and that action cannot become karma yoga. So whatever it is, Karma bandhana is one who is suffering from bandhana or the bondage due to his karma. And that happens only when we are unable to do karma for the sake of God. Here yajna means God, and I have given you a hint of other meanings also. Therefore, what is the upadesha here? What is the direct instruction to Krishna of Krishna to Arjuna? Tadartam karma kaunteya, he kaunteya. Tadartam means we have to see the first line. Yajnartham karma kaunteya kuru. It is very simple. So, do every work as the worship of God. That is what Swami Vivekananda emphasized. That's what Sri Ramakrishna gave a great proclamation, dictum we say, Shiva Jnani Jiva Seva. Don't see only a man as a man. You see in him the Ishvara himself, the God himself, and serve him. Service is the worship of God. And that is the same idea you will find in the Bhagavadgita. Tadartam means yajnartam, for the sake of do all the karma, he Kaunteya, the son of Prutha or the Kunti, and how to perform karma yoga, how to dedicate all actions to the God. And Krishna explains in the last part of the sloka, Mukta Sangha Samachara. Sangha means attachment. Attachment to our family, attachment to the fundamental attachment to our own body itself. That attachment is called the adhyasa. If I think myself as the body, that means I am attached to body. I have superimposition on the body. Atman is real I. If I superimpose idea of body, idea of Atman on body, and that is called the attachment. If I think I am the mind, whatever happens in the mind, happiness, misery, I feel I am in misery, I am happy, that is also a kind of superimposition or the adhyasa. And that is what is Sangha here. And of course, the idea extends, the idea of superimposition extends. I superimpose myself on my relatives, my father, mother, and others, and that is a kind of attachment. So there is an invariable relationship, or rather they are synonyms, bandhana and the sangha. Here in the earlier line, the first line, Krishna uses the word karma bandhana, here he uses the sangha. So karma bandhana, if you don't perform the action with the spirit of dedication to the Lord, and if you do it, if you do every work for the sake of Lord, tasmin tushte jagat tushtaha, prinite prinitam jagat, we have to please the Lord by doing his work. Or rather, we should consider every work to be Lord's work, and the Krishna or the Lord will be pleased. So this is the best way to please the Lord. Suppose you are working under someone in our office, and we try to please our boss by any means. We will try to improve our standard of our work. We work very hard. We work with dedication, sincerity, and honesty, and that will please our boss or the owner of the company or the higher officer. In the same way, if we can perform karma yoga with the spirit of dedication to the Lord, for the sake of God and God alone, not for the sake of money, not for the sake of worldly pleasure, not for the sake of name and fame, then Krishna will be pleased. The Lord will be pleased. Tadartam karma kunteya mukta sangha samachara. Samachara means please perform. Please perform all your actions without getting attached to any worldly objects, without having any worldly motives. And Krishna gives a very general instruction, the primary instruction so far, with regard to Karma Yoga. Now he says the karma or the Nishkama karma, this Yajna. So Nishkama karma, Yajna, Karma Yoga are one and the same. Why it is called Nishkama karma? There is also a kind of karma called Sakama karma. So when you do Yajna and Yaga in your house, you will not do without any desire. You have a desire. Perhaps you want some wealth. There are some sacrifices, yajnas, homas, meant for gaining the wealth, meant for progeny, meant for some purpose, getting rid of the diseases. So these are all kamya karma. Kamya karmas cannot be included in karma yoga. So another kind of karma is nishkama karma. So there are some karmas in our tradition, prescribed in our tradition. For example, some people do what is called Sandhya Vandana or the daily worship. Daily worship, they say, has no benefit at all. But if you don't do it, you will incur sin. A kind of sin. That kind of sin is called Pratyavaya. So if you daily do it, there will be no benefit for you. So it is called Nitya Karma. It is just like this. If a student goes daily to school, he will not be rewarded. It is his duty to go. It is duty of a worker to go to his workplace, whether it is office or the field in the case of a farmer, or factory in the case of a factory worker. It is duty for him. If he doesn't go, if he fails to go, it will be a mistake. It will incur some punishment. So in the same way, there are some obligatory karmas, it is called, translated as obligatory. You have to do it. So Krishna encourages to give up the kamya karma. Kamya karma means the work done with some desires to fulfill. You give it up. Do the obligatory karma which you have to do every way. It is something compulsive, you have to do. But do with the spirit of detachment and dedication to the Lord. And that is Karma Yoga for you. So this is the general instruction, some kind of preliminary instruction. And Krishna says here, it is also the universal principle. Yajna as an individual karma is what has so far been instructed by Krishna. Now Yajna as the universal principle. It is not an individualistic theory, Yajna. It is also a universal theory. And whole creation is the product of the Yajna according to Indian tradition. Many of you know the Purusha Sukta. Purusha is the great Lord. He sacrificed himself and to create this world. And this is an idea. Creation is nothing but the process of Yajna. Out of Yajna, this word has come out. So every evolution, every kind of development is a kind of Yajna. So sacrifice. So we have to sacrifice. So in order to discover things of the science, scientists have to sacrifice. Without sacrifice, nothing is possible. The sacrifice is the law of the universe. So Krishna says in this shloka, in the 10th shloka, Sahayajnaha prajaha sruštva purovacha prajapatihi anena prasavishyadvam yeshavos tvishtakamaduku. Don't think Yajna is for the contemporary society or is present at the time of my teaching of Gita. It is a very old concept. It has been created by the Lord Vishnu or the Lord Brahma himself. Prajapatihi, the father of all the creatures. He is the creator of this whole world. Creator Brahma here is called the Prajapati. The Prajapati created, Pura means in the beginning, in the time of creation. Prajapatihi Sahayajnaha Prajaha Sruštva. He created, he brought all the creatures into existence along with the Yajna. So he created creatures, and for their benefit, for their well-being, for their increasing in numbers, he creates the Yajna. That means Yajna is the tool for evolution. Yajna is the tool for well-being. Yajna is the tool for betterment of the whole world. This idea, that he created the creatures and also he created Yajna for their sake. Selfless work dedicated to God or the Vedic sacrifice. Sahayajnaha Prajaha Sruštva Purovacha Praja. Then Prajapati says to these creatures whom he has created. So he created Yajna, he created the creatures, and he told them, Anena Prasavishadvam. Through Yajna, you develop, you multiply yourself, because the multiplication or the evolution of the human race or the evolution of the animal race is possible through Yajna. It is an old concept, it is a traditional concept. Through this you multiply yourself, and Yajnas will act like a cow yielding all your wants. Here Kamadhuk, Kamadhenu, it is a very symbolic here. In the Puranas, in mythology, we have the story of Kamadhenu. Kamadhenu is a heavenly cow which has got a capacity to give anything you want. If you propitiate, if you salute the cow, that cow, it will give anything, wealth, prestige, money, everything, cows, everything. That is why it is called Kamadhenu. For you people, this becomes, Yajna becomes the Kamadhenu. That means through the selfless action, through the dedicated action, through dedicating every action to the Lord, we can get the highest realization. We can get the highest possible, highest goal of moksha itself, and that is possible. That's why it is called here Ishta Kamadhuk. Kama means desire. Our kamas or our desire should not be a limited desire, limited to wealth, limited to name and fame, limited to prestige, limited to pleasures. No. If we want, we have to want the highest kama. The highest want is called the moksha. So this yajna, when it is performed in the correct spirit, in the right spirit, can yield even the moksha itself. That is the meaning of the kamadhuk. So, if you want to multiply yourself, and evolution of the humankind, human race has to be done, so you do it through this yajna. So here you have, you can see the importance, the significance of the yajna. Yajna is not only important, has got a very significant place in the individual life of a human being. In the cosmic level also, yajna plays a vital role. Without yajna, creation is not possible, and after the creation also, without yajna, the multiplication, the evolution, what we say evolution in the biological or rather zoological terms, it is not possible. Everything happens, every circle in this srishti or the creation happens only through the yajna. These are all old and ancient Vedic concept of yajna. So that yajna concept, Krishna elucidates more clearly, explicitly in the next verse. Devan bhavayatanena te deva bhavayantuvaha parasparam bhavayantaha shreyaha param avapsyatat. What is yajna? Through sacrifice, what you do? Through the sacrifice, that is here Krishna is mainly physical yajna, a performance of yajna through purohitas, and Yajamana hires them. Yajamana gives money to purohitas, and purohitas perform yajna for the benefit of Yajamana, the owner. That is the idea. Purohitas, though perform yajna, they will not get the benefit. Only Yajamana, the real performer, will get the benefit. So in the process of yajna, what happens is, Devan bhavayata, you are going to propitiate the devatas. This is also a very old concept. As I have already told you, Indraya swaha. I am giving this gift to Indra. Let Indra be propitiated. Let Indra give me rain. Let Indra make every arrangement for my well-being. So Indra will be propitiated by that. So you please the Indra, you cherish the Indra. Then what devatas do? Devaha vaha bhavayantu. Devaha, vaha means you. Let them cherish you. Let them please you. Let them shower good on you. That means let them give wealth. Let them give rain, let them give all possible good means of living to you. That means it is a mutual agreement. You propitiate the devatas and let devatas propitiate you. Devatas be responsible for well-being on this world. So another traditional belief is that devatas live by ahuti or the offering we give in the yajna. They don't have any separate food. Our food is plant food or the animal food that is available on earth. But the devatas' food is the offering given to Agni in the time of the yajna. That itself is the food for or the ahara for the devatas. So if you don't give ahara or the food in the name of the ahuti or the offering to devatas, devatas will go without food and devatas will become angry. These are all traditional beliefs. They are more irrelevant, they are no longer relevant in the present society, but we should know the traditional meaning also. But here in the psychologically or socially, suppose if I don't give anything to the society, I work only for my sake, and if I don't pay taxes and I somehow or other evade taxes and use every money I earn for my own sake, for my own luxury, my own pleasure, and that is considered to be evil. And even income tax raid will happen and we have to go to the jail, even this modern society. So society is very important. It is society that is giving us security. Society, it is giving us ample opportunities to work and make a decent living. It is society that is sustaining us through creating an ambience atmosphere so that we can really enjoy the life. So if we don't pay for the society in return, and we are next to sinners, we are sinners only. Next shloka will come here. That idea will come. So Krishna says, in the yajna, one performs yajna for propitiation or pleasing the devatas. All the ahutis are given as the food offering, gift of food to the devatas. And in turn, devatas will propitiate us by giving us wealth and rain, etc. Parasparam bhavayantaha. This is very important. mutual cooperation. Society sustains us, in turn we have to pay in return to the society also. We should help the others, we should try to help the poor, illiterate, distressed, and those who are vulnerable in society. And without doing social service or samaja kalyana, if we enjoy the benefits from the society, we are next to brutes. That is the idea of Krishna. Parasparam bhavayanta is very important. So you propitiate devatas, you try to please devatas, and let devatas please you. Parasparam bhavayantaha. And cherishing each other, pleasing each other, mutually cherishing or the pleasing each other, you will attain the highest good. Shreyaha param avapsyatah. Param shreyaha. Shreyas are also have got their own ladder. It is not, Shreya is not one. There is a stages of the Shreyas. If we earn money, if we earn wealth, that is good. That is also Shreya in the empirical world, in the material world. But the better Shreya is to go to heaven. So you will get the enjoyment, luxury, pleasures far, far intense and more efficient than we can have on this earth. But the highest good is moksha. Moksha is complete liberation, cessation of all the ignorance, cessation of all the misery. When Krishna says here param shreyaha, he means what is liberation. Through work alone, one can attain the highest liberation. This is the message of Krishna. How through work alone we can get the liberation? According to Shankaracharya, the work will purify our mind, sattva shuddhi. But the purity of mind, we get the capacity or we will be able to understand the jnana. Through jnana, one will get the liberation. Though work doesn't help us directly for realization, work doesn't come in the picture, but it is work that facilitates jnana by purifying the mind. So with purity of mind, the sattva shuddhi, one will get the jnana. It is jnana that will take us to the liberation. So through work alone, one can attain, Krishna says clearly here, param shreyam, the highest good you will attain to. So the next sloka, ishtan bhogan hi vo deva dasyante yajna bhavitaha taihi dattan apradayebhyaha yo bhunkte stena eva saha. Bhogan, all kinds of pleasures. We eat, we enjoy, we go to places, and we entertain ourselves in hundreds of ways. All these pleasures, all these means of living, or we should not forget, have been rendered possible by our society. Without living in society, we don't get all these things. But in this traditional way of thinking, it is gods who are giving this. Gods are the reason why we are very happy in this world, with our wealth, with our health, with our pleasures, and with our freedom of choice and all that. That is called bhoga. Ishtan bhoga, what we desire, that is bhoga. I desire to go to some place and enjoy myself. So that is ishta for me. I don't want to go to Himalaya. I don't want to go to ocean. That is my choice. So what I want is ishta. Ishtan bhogan, desired enjoyments. So there is a psychology behind yajna. Whatever you desire, you will search for the means to attain it. Suppose one wants to go to heaven, so he wants to go to heaven by following some means. That means the sadhana is called the yajna here. Through the yajna, one can go to heaven. That is his ishtan bhoga. That is desired pleasure, desired enjoyment. So who give us? Devaha dasyante. The devatas, the gods whom we propitiate through the yajna will give the ishta bhoga. How they give? Why they give? Yajna bhavitaha devaha ishtan bhogan hi dasyante. Because you propitiate, you have propitiated them through the yajna. So they are propitiated, they are pleased, they are very happy with you, and they will bestow what is called the ishtan bhogan, your desired objects. So if you enjoy everything, all of the things they have given you, if you don't spend even a dime for yajna, so that you can propitiate or give back to them through the yajna, how we can repay them? How we can give their due? Through yajna. That means not doing yajna. Taid dattan, whatever has been given to us. In fact, there is an idea in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. It says we have to amass the wealth for doing yajna. So yajna is the goal, and vitta is the sadhana. Vitta or the money is the sadhana, and the yajna becomes the sadhya. Sadhya means goal. Sadhana means means. And yajna also becomes sadhana. Yajna becomes sadhana to go to heaven or propitiate God. So who gave that money or the wealth? Who bestowed us prosperity? The gods have bestowed. Through yajna we have to propitiate gods, not gods like Indra, etc. And we should become prosperous in this world, and we have to keep some part of their gift to us, money, etc., for the sake of yajna. If we don't repay them, if we don't give them back even a part of their gift to us, tair dattan aprayad bhajjo, yo bhunkte, one who eats that, all the pleasures, all the benefits we derive from society, we eat everything, we enjoy everything without giving back even a dime, a penny or a rupee to the society, then what? Tena eva saha. That person is not to be called a human being at all. He is a thief, he says. A thief thief doesn't work at all. He simply goes to a house and steals that. If you work for something, if you want to earn something, you have to work for it. If you don't work, if you go and steal, that is considered crime. In the same way, Devatas have given all the pleasures on this earth, wealth to you, and social security you have got from society. If you don't give it back, give the society back even a fraction what you have got from society, you should be considered stena. Stena means thief. That person is a thief. His enjoyments are due to stealing. So, a disgraceful, is very disgraceful, and he is committing a crime to the society, not repaying, not giving what is due for society. So this is a great lesson. It has got a sociological dimension, sociological teaching. If economics teaching here, economic dimension, sociological dimension, if we become greedy, if we become selfish, and that society will get ruined. More and more people, majority of people, if they are selfless and work for the benefit of society, and whatever society gives, they pay in return, they gave in return even a fraction of that, then only they can be called true citizens of society. So this has got a very important shloka, very important from the present social setting and also economics also. If you don't pay taxes, if you don't pay what is due for government, then you are a thief, you are considered as a thief, you will go to jail. So Krishna's teaching is not only limited to transcendental matters, Krishna comes down to the social level also, even economic level also, and shows how to live a better life, happy life, noble life, exalted life in this society and this earth. So we shall continue next week. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Rama Krishna Arpanamastu.